So the guy who used to be the grounds manager for the Cleveland Indians, Dave's current job, he finds out about this $500,000 in chips, and he's like, "Oh my God, this guy's dirty. He should be fired." Right? So he calls the newspaper man and says, "He's been going to this chips, $500,000 to Vegas. He's dirty." And the newspaper guy's like, "Why are you talking to me? You should be calling the Major League Baseball organization." He goes, "Good idea." So then the guy who's still mad about getting fired calls the MLB association. He says, this Dave guy, Cleveland Indians groundskeeper, he flew to Las Vegas with $500,000 in chips. And no one's saying anything. I mean, this is gambling front and center. He should be fired, man. And so newspaper guy's thinking, he's saying, "You know what? I better go check in on that daycare lady. I mean, she has to know that her boss is doing something totally shady. And she better get the heck out of there. I'm going to tell her." So he calls her up and she's scared. He says, I probably should make a call to Dave, see what his alibi is before I go and publish this article. He calls Dave, and Dave says, "What are you talking about? I was just exchanging chips for a daycare center." It's like, what? So I went to Vegas, I exchanged $500,000 of chips for another $500,000 of different chips, because the kids at the daycare wanted them. And the newspaper says, like, what are you talking about? You flew to Vegas, you're doing gambling. Dude, don't even give the crazy stories, okay? It's going out to tomorrow's paper. So tomorrow's paper goes out. It says gambling. And Dave's already been convicted in the world of public opinion, because he's like, who flies to Las Vegas with $500,000 in chips is not going to do gambling, right? And daycare lady, she's like going crazy. He's like, "I'm so scared, man. We're getting so much trouble. I don't want to be. I'm being associated with this." And lady in the white shirt, black pants says, "I'm sure there's a simple explanation. He's not doing gambling. I wouldn't worry about it. I trust Dave." And she's like, "No, it's crazy, man." So Dave gets a call from the MLB. He's like, you've been doing gambling. We got newspaper articles. And $500,000 in chips, you're going down, man. And he's like, "I didn't do anything." So why then did you fly to Vegas with $500,000 in chips? I told you. The kids at the daycare center like those chips instead of these chips. And I was just exchanging them. That's all I was doing. And the Major League Baseball organization guy's like, "Are you kidding me, dude? We're gonna come to hit the hammer down on you. You're getting fired. I'm going to have my meeting today. We're gonna get everybody involved, and we're just gonna get no." It's over. I'm having the meeting, and you're going to get fired. And he calls Dave, and Dave's like, "Oh, shit. I better call my rich friends." So I'm getting a little imbroglio here because, they think that I was, going to Vegas to do some gambling or something. I was just exchanging your chips. You said that, right? It's okay, right? He said, "Sure, it's fine. I'll back you up on the story. Sure." So then Dave says, "Okay, I got to call the CEO." So Dave calls the CEO, who's reading the newspaper. He's like, "Dave, what's this about gambling?" He's like, "It's nothing. I was just exchanging some chips for a daycare center." And the CEO's like, "What?" "I was just exchanging some chips. The kids at the daycare center like the black chips instead of the red chips, and so I was exchanging them at the casino." And the CEO was like, "Can I trust you? This is actual to what happened?" And he says, "Yeah, okay, but I can't do anything about it. So you got to take care of it, man. Okay?" And Dave says, "Okay." So Dave calls up, and MLB guy says, "Yeah, you guys, you can't be fired for this. It's nothing bad." And then MLB guy's getting so upset and angry. It's like, "I went to my meeting, okay? Everybody knows you're lying. Everybody knows you're doing gambling. It's got to stop, man. You got to quit your job and become unassociated, or it's gonna taint all of MLB." And Dave's like, "Okay, let me work on this. I'll call my lawyer." And he calls his lawyer and says, "Okay, the MLB, they're not even look at my case. They don't care about evidence. They don't care about anything. They're just gonna say gambling." And the MLB lawyer says, "Okay, here's what let's do. Let's have an open trial and open court so we don't have the prejudice of the MLB. Does that sound okay?" "Okay, let's see if there's a court date open with a judge." "Okay." So I'll call a judge, and we'll see if there's an open court date. And if there's an open court date real soon, we'll get the MLB to do, instead of arbitration, a real court case. You think they'll buy that? And Dave says, "Yeah, I think they'll swing that." Okay. So then we won't worry about prejudice. Okay, let's try that. So Dave calls back the MLB organization and says, "I got an idea. Why don't we just have an open court case, and you guys, bring out your case about me and the MLB contract I signed, and you get me for a contract evaluation, because I don't really think the MLB is going to be a very unbiased thing. I want a jury of peers, so let's just do an open court case. Is that okay with you?" And the MLB guy's going, "So this is going to be on the record. You're going to get sued. You're going to be perjury. Yeah, I like this idea a lot. This is great. Let's do that. Open court case. Can you have a case real soon?" And Dave says, "I can get one in 2 weeks. Is that good enough?" And MLB says, "Okay, we're good. Let's do that."